Hello everyone. Today's video is going to be a how-to tutorial on how to display a 3D character. Our app utilizes the Angular framework and Ionic software development kit. So that's the tech stack that I'll be mostly working with today. And then we are using three.js in order to render the animation. I'm going to start off by quickly going over the process of how I even just created this character and all the movements, and then we're going to dive a little bit further into how I implemented that into the front end of our app. So the first task that I had to complete is actually designing the way the character looks, and I use a tool called Adobe Fuse. Adobe Fuse is actually a 3D computer graphics software that is now discontinued. I was able just to design the look and feel of my character, give him the body, the face that I wanted, the clothing, and that essentially is the skin of the character. And then it uses a technique called rigging, which is essentially inserting a skeleton animation inside of the character so that you can move and adjust all of his arms and limbs. Even though they have discontinued Adobe Fuse, they now have Adobe Dimension, Air, and Substance. So they have 3 more 3D computer graphics softwares now that you can go check out, and you should be able to easily get going with a character there. So at the time, I was able to connect my Adobe Fuse to Mixamo. Mixamo is a computer graphics technology company, and they develop and sell web-based services for 3D characters. And so even if you don't want to look into one of those other Adobe softwares that I mentioned, Mixamo offers a selection of characters that you can choose from. If I go check out the animations, they have a bunch of preset animations. Now our character is going to dance in a loop. So luckily for me, they had about 20 different, exercise animations that I could start off with. And so for instance, if I search squat right now, I can apply this air squat bent arm to my character and download it here. So the next step is to download your file from Mixamo and import it into Blender. Blender is a computer application. It's a free open source 3D computer graphics software toolset. So this does a lot of the heavy lifting. This is where we actually design the whole movement of the character. We can view different sorts of transparency, and then we can also view the armature, which is like the skeleton underneath. So as you can sort of see, he has like a skeleton in him, these points that you can pick up and you can adjust. At every point along this timeline, you have to make sure that the character is set in the position that you want him to be. All I had to do was go online and find some dumbbells and then adjust his arms so that they didn't move as much, right, on the way back up. You're going to be able to move, right, like any specific part of him, his arm, his leg, adjust the angle, you can transform things. There was definitely a big learning curve with Blender, and I learned, just enough to adjust the animations from wherever they were into the piece of equipment that I needed. Once we are happy with the way the animation is looking, all of the movements, all we have to do is file, export as a GLTF or a .glb file. There's a lot of different ways that you can adjust the camera in Blender and do all these different, basically like movie shooting techniques. But since we wanted to have it interact with our app, we just need kind of the loop where he does the movement, and we don't need to worry about the camera or anything right now. So the next step, I took that .glb file and I uploaded it to DigitalOcean. DigitalOcean is a cloud infrastructure provider similar to AWS. They have a bunch of cloud services just like AWS. We have our database here. They also have something called Spaces, which is similar to like an S3 bucket. So essentially, we just have all of the different exercise animations here. They all have unique identifiers based on their name, and they're all .glb files that I exported from Blender. So now I'm going to go over the front end code base in the portion of the app where we are displaying this animation. As I mentioned before, we are using the Angular framework with the Ionic SDK kit. So if you look, we're using HTML text, but all the different tags that begin with Ion are part of the Ionic syntax, and those Ionic tags, they give our app a mobile feel even though we're currently running it in the browser. Once we compile it for either iOS or Android, Ionic is what allows us to run the same HTML code on both of those different platforms. And then what the Angular does is it helps us bind different values in our TypeScript code, which I'll go over in a minute, to the HTML code on the front end. Quickly, I'm going to point out that I'm using an ion segment tag, which is what is displaying these buttons up here. Each of these buttons are given a value, and they are binded to a different section that we have here. And then each of the sections is going to have a component. So throughout an Ionic app, you're going to have pages, and then you're going to have smaller components, which you can reuse throughout different parts of our app. So this is the animation component. All the code from 1 to 16 is actually just loading an error message and the spinny dial while the animation is loading. The actual animation is actually only loaded onto this one div right here. It's got a specific tag on it, and then we're going to use something called three.js to attach the animation to that tag. So as I mentioned earlier, Angular utilizes a language called TypeScript, which is essentially JavaScript with a stricter syntax. So the TypeScript will usually control all of the logic going on in an application, where the HTML and CSS are just showing you the display. We have to import the GLTFLoader right here. If you look at three.js's documentation, they give you example code to use. So there are some tweaks that you have to make if you're using TypeScript. This documentation is for JavaScript. So this ng on init function, that's basically saying when this page loads, do the following. So this call right here is gonna initialize our WebGL object, and using the three.js properties, it's going to create that element. It's gonna set up a new scene. It's gonna set up a new camera. It's gonna set up a new renderer to display the object of the scene. We're going to set the renderer size. I have it set to the Windows width, and then I messed around with the height a little bit. There are 3 lights that are shining on our character from 3 different perspectives, and this code is how you adjust all those light positions. The one behind him, I'm just going to remove for a second. If we look behind him, his back is dark now. So when we're moving the scene, we're actually moving all 3 lights with him at the same time. So since there's no light behind him now, his back is dark. I'm going to undo those changes, save that. And then the camera position is also very important, because that's where the viewer is positioned looking down at the 3D character. I'm going to go ahead and adjust some of these to show you, like, what if the Y was a 1 and the Z was a 2. So now if you notice, we are viewing him from the ground because it's a 2, and we are also twice as close to him. I can spin him around in a circle, but if I try to look underneath him, it stops me. And if I try to look above him, it stops me as well. I've kind of have the angle locked in place here. So to show you guys how to change that angle, if I went to the controls.min polar angle 0, and for the max polar angle, I said 1.8. We're going to reload here. Now, if I want to look below him, I can look more below him, right? Or look more above him. The last function we have down here is essentially to use our animation service within the front end of our app to communicate with our Java Spring Boot API. So depending on what exercise name we're using, we're going to send that ID to the database, and it's going to return to us whatever .glb file we're using. If I click to the right here, then it'll load a second animation. But if you're just interested in having the same one there, then all you need to do is set the .glb file. You can save it in your assets or something and then access it that way. We've been working on this new feature. We basically want to integrate stories into workout programs. So the app is taking somewhat of a cinematic direction. I'm not going to jump into this feature too far. I'm going to be rolling it out in the next couple months, and I'll have more information about it then. But essentially, it's this like space story, right? Where you can follow this character as he goes through his mission in space, and that connects up with a workout program. And so I just wanted to jump in here real quick to show that we can reuse that component in other areas of our app. Please check out our app. It's on Apple's App Store and the Google Play Store. We also have a podcast where I just interview experts that can help me along my journey. So that is called the Drive Fitness Program. I'll put all the links that I mentioned in today's video in the description below. If anything was unclear or you want me to dive into any of these details further, let me know because I kind of skimmed over some stuff. But yeah, let me know if you need any extra resources or any advice on your project. I appreciate your time and thank you so much for listening to this video. I hope it was helpful.